Pokémon designs come in all shapes and sizes. From a whale that summons the rain, to a lazy sloth that won't attack, there are many different design choices that can influence your opinion of a Pokémon. Today we talk about the different attributes some Pokémon have been given for you to really taste that unique flavor. This video won't have any Sun and Moon Pokémon in it, since the games just came out, and I thought it'd be fun to have a small break for those of you not wanting to get spoiled by our Sun and Moon Let's Play. I'll still be continuing our weekly list videos, so don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button to see more. Welcome everyone to our top 10 unique Pokémon. Hope you enjoy. Number 10, Sheninja. Sheninja is an awesomely unique Pokémon. The way you get one is so different from anyone else. You gotta have your Nincada evolve, and make sure you have one empty slot and a Pokeball so the skin of its cocoon, or whatever, ends up in your party. I'm sorry, I'm not an entomologist. But I am a Canadian, so that's why I apologized. Sheninja has an exclusive way of battling as well. It has only 1 HP, but its ability Wonder Guard makes it immune to moves that aren't super effective. But not from poison, or stealth rocks, or burn, or that time it bumped its head on my fridge. Well, regardless, this combination of abilities and 1 HP really sets it aside from other Pokemon. Number 9, Ditto. Ditto is another Pokemon that has its own unique way of battling, as it can only learn one move, Transform, making this malleable gloop of goo turn into any Pokemon it is facing and taking on its moves. It is the only Pokemon to learn this move, aside from Mew, which is the Pokemon it is theorized to come from, as it is very likely this Pokemon is the failed experiment of recreating Mew. Ditto even gets a very cool ability called Imposter, letting it immediately transform into the Pokemon it is facing without having to use up a turn to use Transform. I have to say, Ditto was definitely one of my favorite Pokemon to mess around with in the first generation, as I would take it into the Elite Four and copy people's Pokemon because it was really cool to have Lorelei's Lapras or Lance's Dragonite on your team. Too bad you get taken out because Ditto's stats are pretty weak, but it was a really fun, sort of Easter egg to have their Pokemon on your team. Number 8, Droid Agha. Alright, stay here with me. I know this might not be the first Pokemon that comes to mind when you think of unique Pokemon, but Droid really did set the table for a completely different dragon than we're used to. Every dragon before Droid was a bit of a serious powerhouse. You had ones like Giratina and Salamence, and even some funny ones like Dragonite that were cute, but also fierce. But then you had Droid who broke the mold for regular dragon types, and wasn't fierce, or powerful, or even looked that great. And you know what? That's okay, because that made Droid different from the rest. I never said being unique was 100% a good thing. Number 7, Castform, the weather Pokemon. This is another Pokemon that's, well, I was going to say nicely made, but how it looks is interesting. I really like that they made a Pokemon that takes on different forms depending on its surroundings. No, not you, Alola form Pokemon. But it is a really cool way to have some hidden forms, as Castform forms into a form that can take on the weather and up its ability to use Weather Ball. That's a lot of forms. Castform is very different from other Pokemon, no doubt, but it definitely feels like it needs a bit more to it. Like a lot more weather conditions. That would be cool. Number 6, Rotom. Rotom was a Pokemon that I swear I thought was legendary or mythical or whatever you youngster Joeys are saying nowadays. It really had that feeling of being different from the regular Pokemon in the 4th generation, in addition to the mind game of having the legendary Pokemon battle music playing when you ended up fighting it. It has this awesome ability to combine with household appliances and change its typings and moveset. That was just a really cool feature of Rotom that really separated it from the rest. Number 5, Aegislash. Aegislash's ability makes it a bit unique, showing a different battling style as it can swap between defensive and offensive forms. It's also broken. It's a possessed sword that fights like its family's honor is on the line. Or online. I guess it took one of those genealogy tests and now can find its family online. It's a sword, it's got 2 stances, and it took down my entire team whenever I decided to stream some X and Y Wi-Fi battles. That was a fun time. Number 4, Unknown. It's a bunch of letters that can only learn hidden power. I mean, that's unique. They even have punctuation. Yeah. Number 3, Arceus. Arceus is a Pokemon I like a lot. I'm saying that because for some reason people think I hate it because I put it on my worst legendary list, and didn't listen to my reasoning. I mean, just because I think McDonald's is the worst for me, doesn't mean I'm not gonna stroll up and buy 3 McDoubles, a large fries, 2 ranch crispy snack wraps, a medium drink, because I can get refills, why would I need a large? 2 McChickens, a McFlurry. Anyways, Arceus is incredibly different. I mean, for one thing, it's the creator of all Pokemon. That just separates it from every single Pokemon. If it gets into a battle, it can just pull rank and be like, dude, I invented you, what are you doing? It's also the reason there are all these type plates around. Ones that help Arceus change its typing from normal to whatever it is holding. It's also just a really nicely designed Pokemon. Although, I'm not the biggest fan of it being given out during every pre-order event. But it still makes sense as catching Arceus with a Pokeball would make it feel a little lacking. So Arceus being bestowed upon you from the high seas does seem fitting. I really hope no one realizes I record my videos at McDonald's. Number 2, Porygon. Porygon was one of the most interestingly different Pokemon of the first generation. Not only was just obtaining one a bit different, as the only place you could get it was in the casino, its design had a different feeling from most Pokemon, as this was the generation of more natural animal Pokemon. Except for you, Mr. Mime and Jinx. But Porygon was a digital, artificial Pokemon that even had interesting ways to evolve in the later generations. Even though Porygon was rather weak, it still had this rare feeling to it because of how different it felt from all other Pokemon. And I think that makes it one of the best unique Pokemon, as its implementation into the first generation and its contrast with other Pokemon makes it feel that much more different, in addition to its artificial feeling and slight ties with Team Rocket in the casino. Number 1, Eevee. Eevee is one of the most unique Pokemon, with a unique trait that I love. It evolves into so many different Pokemon of different types, all of which are just adorable, cool, fierce, or Leafeon. I just enjoy that this adorable little creature can turn into so many different and usable Pokemon. Most of its evolutions are pretty powerful as well, and it's so awesome to see it reign in as the little guy who creates them all, or transforms into them. It's also really fun to see it get some new evolutions all the way into Generation 6. No other Pokemon gets evolutions in the 2nd, the 4th, and then also the 6th generation. Porygon is close, but Eevee trumps it. I also really like how it turns into a new Solo-type Pokemon that really shows up the elegance of each type. Go on, my little pup or fox. You turn into more adorable representations of types. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed and thought this would be a fun video to give you guys a break from Sun and Moon content and have something to watch for those of you that don't want spoilers. I'm here for you, my friends, especially you guys in Europe, because it's not out yet, I'm so sorry. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. So until then, keep on catching!